Okay, y'all, this is Kamara with Rooted Futures, and today is the new moon. So I think on the East Coast, it's going to be sometime around 10 p.m., but you check yourself. And if you're on the West Coast, it's going to be somewhere around 7 or 8-ish or something like that. So check the time. But today is the new moon. And if you don't know about moon phases, all you got to know is the new moon is dark. It's when there's no light illuminating from the sun on that moon. So typically, this is symbolic of a time where your feelings might be, not seen or felt by other people. This is also the time where your actions may not be seen or felt by other people. So you can imagine it is a potent time to do spiritual work that you feel like it needs to be done in the dark. It needs to have no eyes and no feelings on that work, because it's something you need to get done. Now, mind you, I'm recording this in the morning before the official time of the new moon. And Spirit is telling me right when, to check the time first, but right when that new moon is fully dark, that is when Spirit is telling me to upload this to YouTube. So if you see it, then know that this message was received early in the morning. Actually, some vibrations of it I had been receiving all week. But let's just pick a few cards before I get into the channeled message, because Spirit came through, y'all. Spirit came through. And I want to thank all of you who've been listening to these channeled messages on YouTube. What I'm going to say is they're for the person that gets it, because they're not meant to be for everyone. And that's how Spirit wants this part of my work to be done. There's some channeled messages that are going to be distinctly for those who find them. And if people don't find them, it wasn't for them. But again, take only what resonates. And for the channeled message, this is going to be specific, y'all. But in many ways, the lesson of it applies to all of us. So the first deck I have here is a deck called the Blue Messiah. And Spirit told me a while ago when I was doing some kind of cosmic, I don't know what it was, cosmic guided meditation with some people on Clubhouse. I was like, these people were on some next level stuff, y'all. And I said, let me participate in this. And y'all, they took us to the cosmos to communicate with divine beings of higher light. And I gotta tell you, I won't tell all of it, but when I connected with these divine beings of higher light, they touched my third eye, y'all. They touched my third eye. And from there, I really do think that my gifts started to deepen. My spiritual sight started to deepen. My spiritual hearing started to deepen. So, it's not something I do all the time, kind of like doing spiritual stuff with strangers I don't know. But Spirit was, at that moment, at that time, they were like, do this. And so, giving thanks to those people I really don't even know who they were. They were just on Clubhouse doing their thing. But one of the messages I got during that time was that those cosmic light beings, they really like this deck, the Blue Messiah deck. So I said, all right. And so they said, whenever you want a little bit of our guidance, choose this deck. So it called to me today for this new moon reading, this new moon channel. And the first card that came out was Trust, number 33, y'all. And it has this being standing up, surrounded by a white aura, and holding what appears to be some vibrational light in its hands. And that vibrational light is all up by the heart chakra. And the vibrational light is also in the third eye area in this drawing. So again, y'all, this could be signaling that this new moon, or if you listen to this channeled message, there is direction in this channeled message. So this new moon could very much be about the alignment between your heart and your third eye, between what you feel and what you see. What you see and what you feel. Because you've got to trust that. It's interesting when you first start working with your intuition, there's a lot of wavering, right? Because you're so used to getting your information in the beginning from the external world. But when you start to work with your intuition and become a collaborator with that intuition, you start to understand that the way that you can tell if what you are sensing with your intuition is actually true, whether or not you can trust it, is if that information aligns with your heart, with your feeling state. So there's a car alarm that's going off, so Spirit is saying that's true. So that is how you're going to know whether the intuition is coming from you and your divine inner wisdom versus some shit you heard earlier or a week ago and whatever. So Trust was the first card. And then the second card that came out was Self-Love, number 25. 25 equals to 7. This is the year of 7. I've been seeing 7 in a lot of places. I was born in the seventh month, which is July. So 7 is saying self-love. And there's a figure here again. Their hands are to their heart. There's also energy being shown around the throat chakra. And then their crown is expanded. There's light expanded in their crown chakra. So this self-love is also including the heart work. But it's also including your throat. It's also inviting you to speak your truth as a practice of self-love. And to know that the crown chakra is going to be activated when you hold your heart and throat energy together. That crown chakra is going to activate. And you will receive numerous downloads at that point. But it's a practice of self-love that's definitely required. And the last card that came out, card number 9, is Evolution. And I kind of get that this is all a progression, because on evolution, your arms now, the being's arms are just open. They're extended open on both sides of the body. And there's this DNA strand coming through the entire body, the entire chakra system. And the chakra even above the crown, your soul chakra, it's exploded with light. The vibration around the entire body of this being is off the charts. Quite literally, this feels like ascension. And you know, this is so interesting because I've seen this card quite a few times, but I'm looking at it now, and there is, within the DNA, there's this being. It feels ancestral because I see two eyes coming through the DNA. Ooh, y'all. Some of y'all are going to be really in this evolutionary healing process. You're going to be connecting with an ancient ancestor from the cosmos, y'all. You're going to tap into, I'm even looking deeper into this picture. It's deep, y'all. I'm seeing the web. I'm seeing the web of life all through, in and around this action of your ascension. Y'all are getting ready to take off. Maybe we all are getting ready to take off. And I gotta tell you, this channeled message, it's powerful, y'all. It blew my mind, and I knew it was the truth because parts of it spoke to my own early experiences. But let's pull one more card from the light language deck. I think there's one card here because Spirit is saying there's one card. There might be more than one, but let's see. What's the message, Spirit? All right. Vesica Pisces. I love sacred geometry. I feel like it's the language, it's the original language of our early ancestors, because you've got to know, y'all, when you start getting into this work of communicating, collaborating with Spirit, Spirit does not speak English. Spirit does not speak English. Our ancestors do not speak English. At least, mine don't. Not many of mine. And when you, especially as a channel, when I'm channeling, you'll hear me speak English in some kind of weird way. Like, I notice I'll go back and listen to something and I'll be like, why is my sentence structure that way? Like, why am I saying things the way I'm saying it right now? And I realize that is how Spirit talks when it's trying to speak English. It's just like, all right, I'm trying to give you this. And sometimes they'll be showing me, giving me the essence of something, and there's just no English word for it. Because, we've got to know, y'all, the language itself is not very old, and it's colonized, and it's not really as evolved as our indigenous languages. So there's just words in it that reflect the condition of the language, the conditions of which the language was made. You know what I'm saying? Dramatic, romantic languages, they have limits. But I do my best. But I do have to say that in sacred geometry, there's a way in which you can tap into looking at it, and you can start to receive, maybe this is what they're calling the light language of it. But Vesica Pisces has always been part of the sacred geometry that I was attracted to for a number of reasons. For me, it's about relationship, because there's these two whole circles that overlap, and in that overlap, it creates kind of like a new area. A new connection happens from the overlap of two circles. And in the center of that circle, which looks like a yoni, because it's kind of shaped like a yoni, something is birthed. So this is accurate, right? Because when we enter into relationship with anyone, within any kind of relationship, something transpires. A new thing is born. A new understanding is born between those two people. It could be a brief understanding, it could be a lifelong understanding. But there's no way that you can enter into a relationship with someone and not have something be created. That creation could be strife, creation could be love, that creation could be animosity, that creation could be indifference, whatever it is, something is created. A new energy is created right when you meet somebody. And like I said, it could be somebody at the grocery store you just have a brief interaction with. Something still was created. An impression was still there. Vesica Pisces reminds us that we are constantly in the state of creation, whether we like it or not, whether we're conscious of it or not. In this particular rendition in the light language card, the Vesica Pisces, in the middle of the yoni shape, are two other circles that are forming, creating another yoni. It's like infinite. But in the middle of it is the heart, the illuminated heart. And there's a heart shape with this burst of light in the center. This is deep, y'all, because we're about ready to go to this channeled message. Vesica Pisces. If you don't know what that looks like, take a look at it. The bottom of that deck. Again, number 33, and it says soul love. This is not necessarily a channel about love in terms of a romantic relationship, but it is about love of self, coming out of experiences in romantic relationships, familial relationships, friendships, colleagues, etc. It's about relationship. So let's go to the channeled message, because it happened this morning while I was in bed. It usually happens in the morning while I'm in bed. I'm just innocently hanging out in bed because I get my downloads. That's my power hour, y'all, for the most part. So I hadn't seen or thought about this deity in a while. So it was interesting when she showed up to talk. This is Erzulie Dantor, sometimes called Erzulie Dantor or Santa Marta, which is interesting because Santa Marta, I have a little statue that I got when I went to Cuba a couple of years ago, and it was a Santa Marta statue. And this statue has been in a lot of my readings lately. If you look on Tik Tok, if you look on YouTube, you'll see the statue. It doesn't look very prominent in the picture. She's just there. I would have to kind of tip it up so that you could see. She has a snake wrapped around her, and she's holding a baby And that baby has the head of the snake in its lap. Go ahead, Spirit. So, this morning, I don't know why I feel emotional right now, because Erzulie is coming to remind me of a memory, but she's also here to give you a very important message. This is specific to someone. But if you're listening to it and it feels at first like it's not for you, you're drawn to this for some reason. So this might be a message that pertains to someone who's around you. It may pertain to your past. It may pertain to your future. It may be relevant to a different you in a different timeline. So if you feel the call, listen. So she says, and let's just go into the channeled message, y'all. And I'm just going to speak the way she spoke. This is about growth. I mean, at some point, you've got to stop and look in the mirror and recognize that you can be a tool for other people's agenda, or you can be your own instrument for your best benefit. I see you. You are young, you're fertile, you're beautiful and powerful, but you don't know it. Some of you were born to a family of beautiful women who were also narcissists. They used their beauty as a tool to get material, to sway opinions, to manipulate. You, however, are of a different stock. And these women, they saw that in you, even as a young child. They saw your morality early on. Even as a small child, you made moral decisions. Decisions they didn't teach you about. But you showed them over and over again that you cared for others. You cared for even small little animals. You just did. And being the narcissist that they were, and being in that narcissist energy, they decided to make you a servant to their whims. Knowing that you would be obedient, knowing you would be respectful as a child. And that pattern, it followed you into adulthood, putting others first, enduring bad treatment, selfishness, deception, lies, betrayal 1,000,000 times, and have that be defined as love, as care, as the best you could ever get, as the best you could ever achieve in relationships. Literally, this family pattern of use and abuse set you up in your relationships, especially with men. But I'm going to tell you, there are some men who might be listening to this, so you take it as it resonates. If you are male embodied, then this pattern sets you up for how you view women. Now, if you are non-binary, it just sets you up for how you relate to others of all genders. And take it as it resonates. This is a particular kind of grooming that sets you up to be codependent, to be a people pleaser, to be a tool in someone's game. You see, all of your past relationships, not just partners, have been about you being a tool. Your heart, your care, twisted and contorted to the whims of others. You would show up for others consistently, at times even in your own demise. And the minute you needed help, poof, you were on your own. The way you rationalized this behavior was to believe you deserved it. You couldn't please fast enough. You weren't good enough. And maybe that is something you even heard in your childhood. Like you would have gotten that toy if you would have behaved better. You would have gotten that ice cream if you would have done more. You get what I'm saying? So fast forward to now. You've got a baby, or you've got babies. You've got little ones that rely on you. And most of you are single parents. Or you're in a relationship where you might as well be a single parent. Because I see you raising children on your own, being the only real, consistent provider in your household. You're tired. You're exhausted, trampled on. And you can feel it. You are losing your light. The only treasure you had was the light you were born with, that light of love, that light that allowed you to be caring, that light that helped you to see the value in others, that light that allowed you to be generous without any thought of reciprocity. That light is a high vibrational flame, a violet flame inside of you. And as a result of all these experiences, it is going dim. You know that at any moment you can become like those who you were raised around. You could at any moment choose for yourself a person just to become your tool, just so that you can get ahead in life, because you are beautiful. And secretly, you know, even at the unconscious level, you are powerful. You have an unrealized power that hovers just out of your awareness. You unknowingly use it as energy to give to others. That is why others need you. That is why they're constantly pulling on you, because you give this energy so freely. So freely in a way that you dim your own light. You don't get to replenish or restore yourself. But I'm here to tell you, you are getting ready to experience a huge tower moment. And I know you're thinking, another one? I've had several. But no. This tower is about your reckoning. This is the moment you decide to channel the Great Mother in all her daughters. Because you're at a fork in the road. You're at a crossroads. And the guardian of that crossroads, it's taking pity on you right now. It's deciding to let your prayers be heard. And look who is coming to greet you. None other than Erzulie Dantor, the mother with a knife. She is described as the Loa of love of voodoo, revered in Haiti and maybe other places in the Caribbean. She is known to tell the stories of women, their untold stories. She tells all of their stories. The Black woman, the biracial woman, the white woman. She tells all of their untold stories. She is a protector of mothers. She is no nonsense. Her knife is sharp, to the point, takes no prisoners. This energy, it cuts away at illusion. It takes a factual approach to the current situation. She puts her blade under your lowered chin and raises your eyes to meet her gaze. It's then that you have to decide, and she will decide. Should she cut your head off for bothering her? Or will she grant you passage to a journey of empowerment? She can see your past deeds, your heart, your light. And because of this, she grants you access, but only if you're truly ready. She has granted you passage, dear one, but only under one condition: that you never betray yourself again. Because she knows others can only use you as a tool when you betray yourself. That is the first lesson. And it's a hard one, right out the gate. You feel the power of her teaching, and she awaits your answer. Will you follow her path? Because in the spirit realm, it doesn't matter who you are. God's law prevails, which is free will, meaning you will have to decide if the path of the great mothers and her daughters is for you. So this is where you are being invited to make a choice. The path that you're on, which is filled with chaos, but it is the devil you know. Or the path that seems barren, dark, mysterious, where you would be following this deity that has a torn dress, a machete, and 2 scars on her right cheek. Because scars do not die. Scars are evidence of a battle, won or lost. So my friend, you are being asked, will you allow your scars to be shown? Will you pursue a path of the scarred but vibrant heart? Or will you collapse under the weight of man? Regardless of your gender, you must know the world of man is illusionary. Patriarchy is a spell. Domination is a disease. Violence is a pestilence. If this is the world that you profess to be real and true, then commit your sight to it wholly and never speak the name of the Great Mother and her daughters again. But if you have some glimpse of remembering, then choose wisely and face your path, scars and all. So I speak to those who are still here, still listening to this part of the recording. Perhaps you've made a decision. And if you have, take your knife. You are not a victim. From here, your life begins. The path of the Great Mother, the divine goddess God of this earth, is diametrically opposed to that of man. You will be seen by those with man sight as crazy, new age, silly, unrealistic, weak, valueless, because they truly cannot see beyond the illusion. So you will be tested 1,000 times to stand by your heart, to protect it, to protect your children, who are the future, and yourself. You are a warrior now, a mother with a knife. Your life is now directed by spirit, not by man. I feel like I need a rattle, y'all, because Spirit's been telling me I need to unpack that. But anyway, to shift out of the channeled message, but I'm telling you, if you understood that energy, it came specifically to give you that message, that you are much stronger than you think you are. I don't know what you're going through right now, but I can imagine you are wondering what your next steps need to be. So, do what you can to align yourself on the path you have chosen. And if you do choose the path of the warrior, know that I have another channeled message about that, the path of the warrior. But I will say this, if Erzulie Dantor has come to you, she does not ask much in the way of offerings because she knows the path of the mother with a child or the mother with children. So, simple offering, maybe a glass of water and some flowers that you've picked, maybe a small candle, white candle, and anything else that you feel could be an offering. And I remember early on just, printing a picture of her, a painting, and just putting it on my altar. Now, if you're an artist, you can draw a picture of her. There's plenty of pictures of her on Google, on the internet. But she's showing up for you as strength right now. and you need it, whoever you are, whatever body you're in, whoever you are caring for. So I will leave you here, y'all, because I have my own work to do to prepare for this new moon, and I must set out into the world myself. But I will upload this later on tonight when the moon is at its newest. And get the energy of this moon, right? You go from the dark and it builds. It's called waxing. It waxes to full moon. So anything that you are doing tonight, any declaration, any kind of wish, know that the energy is one of building from darkness into light. So use that with your wisdom to know what to do if you're doing some kind of spiritual work. Okay, y'all. So once again, if you resonate with the way that I channel, please subscribe to this channel, click the bell, and you will get notified when I upload. I am also on TikTok quite daily, if not daily, every few days. And you can join me there as well. But if this is where we part, this is where we part. Take care.